Hello everyone, welcome back to FPL Jedi Show. We are still in game week 37, okay? But only left with two matches, but our mind is on the final game of the season. My name is Hafiz. Would like to welcome Azmin to the stream. How are you, brother? You're on mute?
Oh, okay, yeah. I just wanted to apologize to our followers or viewers last week because we ended up not being able to stream due to our real life commitments happening. Getting in the way. There were quite a few things on both our ends, so I do apologize for that. But we're back for the final week, and yeah, let's. It's amazing, Hafiz, when you think about how far this is now our second season doing this, and I think this season we've seen you've done a lot of improvements in terms of how we present things and how we do things. So yeah, so it's got a lot more traction. So I'm very happy with how it's been going.
Right. Okay. Most importantly, we becoming more consistent. But once in a while we might not turn up. But most of the time we are here, especially on the week meet stream and also the deadline stream. Right. So
Yep.
pretty much our mind. This is the last game week of the season. Since what I don't know, is it August back then? And now coming to May, which is a World Cup season. Definitely, there is a lot of bumpy ride. Okay, uh, maybe we touch a bit, man, because Man City lineup in game week 37 really a lot of big rotation by Pep, and looks like everyone been scammed by Pep. So, what's your comment?
Well, I kind of blame Arsenal for just throwing game week away and not putting up a better fight because obviously because the moment we found out that Arsenal had won, you just knew that Pep is going to just mess around with the lineup and it doesn't matter. Although the amount of messing he did was incredible. It was those of you who had Alvarez, well done. I think that was good, but I do think that most people who went for Alvarez were hoping that your returns would be a bit more than what you ended up with. And I guess one of the reason was why he didn't end up with a bigger score was simply because of the mass rotation. So the whole team was literally a new team, and it was the consistency wasn't there. Obviously, they were still quite they still had majority of the possession. They held on. They were quite consistent. But then, in terms of actually scoring, it didn't quite come off a lot of times. But yeah, still Alvarez got the single goal.
All right. Think think with two matches coming. Okay, I think tonight Brighton against Man City. I think most people are hoping the first lineup will return back this tonight, but we just not gonna know, right? Okay, but there could possibility whether this midweek or even the last game with 38 Man City players, we just need to be, I don't know, careful or be patient. If let's say we predict that they can turn up on game week 38, but I think that's the one thing that even though a lot of players or managers jumping to Man City asset, this thing can happen.
Yeah. I think it's really dangerous, and it was a small little victory for those who had kept on to Akanji and were happy to see him start, only to see him get subbed off like in the 57th minute. It was so frustrating. But my some of my friends we were following together online, he had Akanji and he said he's not surprised anymore, so he's just gonna accept it. It's just gonna happen.
Yeah. Then I think we jump straight because we're gonna talk a lot about these players anyway. We
Yeah.
run through our team so far. We are without the two game that gonna play tonight and also tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have a look a bit on them double game week 37 FPS stats so far. The third one is final day. What at stake? I think we just gonna run through who has something to play on the final day. the top predicted points of game week 38. Maybe we just take a look and maybe there's some points that we can get. All right. We run through game week 38 fixture. The captain pick, I think this one maybe there'll be some differential that we can pick, and also what is I think the last transfer of the season. All right, man. Let's jump to your team. I think your team got scored quite well so far with 58 points minus 4 points. I think you take a hit, and the average point so far is 31.
So yeah, I was pretty happy. I took a hit, and let's see, I brought in Gundogan and Ferguson. So for Andreas and Isaac, so I ditched Isaac. And it paid off at least on one side with Ferguson running off with 2 goals and maximum bonus. Unfortunately, the other side was a victim of Pep's fun and games. But in his place, he totally failed to make an appearance. So I'm not sure what's going on because. So I'll just run through quickly. So I Steele, TAA was the biggest disappointment, I would think. Lindelof and Shaw. So I went for the double City United defense because they had a better chance at getting clean sheets. So far, so good. So I benched Stones and I was right in the sense that he didn't start, but he did come on. And when he did come on, he was playing in as a midfielder position, which we regret. Yeah, and I think I remember your mantra from previous week saying that you shouldn't bench a double game week play. You don't know what might happen. And I have a really bad feeling about tonight where Stones is concerned. But it's I'm just gonna have to accept whatever happens. And anyway, so the Liverpool trio were pretty much the biggest disappointment. Only scoring in a 1-1 draw. TAA, Gakpo, and Salah, and the goal wasn't even by that. It was by Firmino, which personally as a Liverpool fan, I was really happy, but I was very disappointed with Liverpool's performance. But I should have seen it coming because Aston Villa are not pushovers anymore. Under Unai Emery, they have turned into a solid unit, both attacking and defensively. Mitoma got an assist, assisting one of Ferguson's goals. So Mitrovic, so one thing I was a bit scared because when I picked him up the week before, he on his return he did not start, but he came on as a sub and scored. But I wasn't, so I was that thought I was a bit more confident that he would start, and indeed he started. So the first goal was a penalty, very expertly taken, and the second goal was a header. So he's clearly that he still maintained the quality first. Yeah, he's still that first choice striker, not Vinicius, and despite him being away, and I fully expect him to finish off the match as well for the last game of the season to start. Then Ferguson, and of course Haaland, who I think everyone's in the same boat, so can't do anything there. Raya's got 4 points down the bench, which is not bad, but he doesn't have a second game, so. The only disappointment there is Trippier, who recovered and ended up 9 points in a 0-0 draw. And obviously, when you would think that if Newcastle are involved in a 0-0 draw, Trippier is going to definitely make off with the max points. So it's very frustrating that I had Trippier there instead of TA, but then that's just a call you had to make. And TA was in great form leading up to this match, and Trippier wasn't.
I don't think you're going to prioritize Trippier over TA. TA will definitely be on your first lineup, if not the first player you're going to play for game week 37 in defense at least. Okay, so I don't think you need to regret on that Trippier decision because most of the people are going to bench him or maybe have him as a first sub if let's say Rashford did not feature in the midweek. But based on the team news so far, I think Ten Hag says is quite good to be available for tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow's match. Yeah, still one more day to be be ready. I guess I'm just I guess I'm glad the Ferguson call paid off. So we'll get to see how much time he gets in the midweek match tonight. Yeah, so I think anything he gets will be a bonus already for me.
Yeah, if you got only 2 points or 1 point, it's like 14, 15 points. So I think that's pretty much with 4.6 million striker, right? So what
Yeah.
what else you're gonna expect? It has been exceeded all our expectation. It could easily be Akinso, right? It's another choice up front, but he does not return, and Ferguson did, I think, right?
Could have
So
easily been what? Oh, sorry.
Akinso, right?
Enki's. Oh, Enki's.
Striker.
Yeah. No. Yeah, to be
Uh,
fair, Enki's, I never really considered Enki's. So it was either going to be Ferguson or possibly Gross if I was going to move to that midfield Brighton instead. Yeah. So,
so you got that call right? Okay.
yeah.
Mitrovic.
Before the thing is before yesterday's match, I had in ranking wise I had gone up. Before the Newcastle Leicester match, I had actually gone up to 800,000. So
Yeah,
ranking
I
wise,
understand.
it was really a pleasant surprise, and I think Ferguson had a lot to do with it. So hopefully I can maintain that and well at least stay within the 1 million.
Yep. For sure. We hope for the best. Let's go to my team. I only scored 44 points so far. I took a hit, of which I've been thinking a lot when whether want to remove maybe the likes of Rashford. Thinking about Bruno, I think that's one player that people are really mentioning or transfer in a lot last week. But I did not have money. I just want to take a hit, so I pretty much want to bring in Shaw. So he did not uh, disappoint us. Scored 9 points so far. Okay, in other words, I took a hit to bring in De Gea as my another double game week players, replacing Raya. I did have enough money to replace Kepa for day here, but I just thinking maybe I need some cash in Game Week 38. I don't know, but that's why I did that decision. It could be easily Raya. I feel De Gea should be good, definitely in Game Week 37. Hopefully, he will play in Game Week 38. Later we discuss. All right. So De Gea scored 7 points, 6 point clean sheet, and 1 point save point so far. And at home now against Chelsea. TAA 1 point, Shaw 9, Estupiñán only 2 points. Brighton concede to Southampton. So he got only 2 points. Rashford near point right now, but if let's say he plays, so we can get some points. If not, Isaac will come in for 1 point. So we shall see. Salah 5 points. Grealish also did not play. So I have two players that did not play in my first match. And if let's say those players decided not to turn up, then I will have Isaac and Botman coming in. Botman 8 points, so I will definitely welcome that. McAllister 5 points, Mitoma 5 points only, and assist. Actually, I mean, if you saw that match, Mitoma could easily got 1 or 2 goals.
Yes.
So I think that could be frustrating on that part. Alvarez, you did charge only 8 points, 6 points from a goal and 2 bonus points, but there was a goal but considered handball by Mahrez. Okay, and that could easily be more than 8. So I did not get that, or I did not lucky to get that point. Okay, and Haaland only 1 point. Pretty much that's the team for game week 37, 44 points. If let's say I still have Kepa or Raya, maybe I think pretty much the same point, but at least I got another chance of points from the here.
Yep.
I mean,
So technically, so today you, in theory, you have 6 players that could possibly go. But unfortunately, I do have what might be bad news is that there were a few rumored to not that City players that did not make the trip. Akanji, Diaz, and Grealish. So
Man. So
so
I'm
if
gonna
that,
get the 1 point from Isaac lah.
yeah, it looks like Isaac is going to come in if that's true. Yeah, but we'll see. Yeah,
Okay.
but
All right.
yeah, what to do? That is what it is.
Yep.
We can't do
Yep.
anything now.
Yep. All right. We hope that Rashford will play some or starts the game. That's the best that I could actually see. But if not, I won't. I think I'm gonna get that. I set 1 point right inside my team. So okay.
If he doesn't start, you hope you I think it's best you hope that he's on the bench either, because at least if Rashford and Grealish both don't turn up, then Botman can come in and give you
Yeah.
some
And
points.
yeah.
Yeah, so you got to hope that Rashford, if he is available, he will start rather than be on the bench.
Okay. All right. Slight in terms of my rank, slight increase to 32. Okay, but we shall
I,
see by the
I
end.
think
Okay.
yeah, I think it shows a lot that at my score, although I increased in your score at 44, you still had a rank increase, which is really good. And but I think it also goes to show that there's some, the Rashfords are probably there. Everyone has the Rashfords and McAllisters and the Salahs, and so there's some quite fair bit similarities. I think one of your advantage is De Gea. I think the De Gea transfer is helped to push it up a bit. Yeah. So
Yeah.
because
Yeah. I think
there's
so.
there are apparently quite a bit more Alvarez owners than I thought there would be. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Most of my rival in mini league also when suddenly got Alvarez inside the team replacing Wilson coming in. So pretty much it's template everywhere. So if you want to be different, it's the last game week of 38. You just need to pick whoever that people are not thinking.
High risk,
um,
high risk.
let's go a bit on double game week 37 stats so far. In terms of chips played, triple captain chips. I think that this is the last straw that people gonna make in terms of activating triple captain chip. 395,000 did that, and most of them will has Captain Haaland who only reward 1 point so far. So they only got 3 points. Okay, it's not damaging at least for now, but we are not sure tonight. Okay, bench boosting 292,000 managers did that. Okay, and then third one wildcard 186,000 and free hit 137,000 manager play their chip. I think this is the last game that you're gonna do it. Maybe there's some free hitting in game week 38. Maybe. All right. In terms of most captain in double game 37, like we mentioned, 6.5 million, including ourselves, mate. Okay, Captain Haaland and rewarded only 1 point so far. Salah, 724,000 actually captain him, got 5 points, and Jesus still there with 1 point. But in terms of double game week 37, most transfer in. One of your player, man, good gun. 726k did that. And so far only 0 points. Okay. Bruno Fernandes, 672,000. 3 points so far. He could easily get more than that. There's one really big chance in terms of score. But sure, the third one, 637,000, did not disappoint with 9 points so far. So what you can make up of these stats so far?
Well, if anything, for our viewers and for those watching watching this after, this is a perfect illustration of why it's really dangerous for you to keep chips nearest towards the end. And what happened is pretty much with the title already decided, you can see Pep decided to do it. But to be fair, even if some other team had won as well, that same thing would have happened to that team as well. Let's say if it was Klopp, just Liverpool's fantasy is that Liverpool had won the title. Do you think that you'd see a very strong lineup the week after the match after they win? I think we will still see the same problem as well. We would see, Klopp especially, he'll definitely give his chance to his younger players to get some exposure. So that is the risk that you face when you save your chips really close to the end, especially something like a triple captaincy. But to be fair, he still has one match to go, and we know what Haaland is capable of. But for those who had the bench boost and even the wild card, I feel that a lot of people probably got damaged by the wild card. So there you go.
Okay, man. Let's go take a quick peek on team game week 37. So far, the most scored player is whoever thought Mbomo. Brentford without Tony, no problem. Visa and Mbomo turns up with 16 points and 12 points. And later we touch a bit on Brentford. They still have something to play. All right. Okay. In goalkeeper, Ortega, scored 11 points, not Edison. I think Ortega did got 3 save points, 3 bonus points, something like that. Clean sheet, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 2 save points. Yeah. So Ortega turns up the best keeper so far. We then have Mina, Everton, 10 points. They managed to draw against Wolves at the last kick of the match. We have Felipe, 9 points. Forest actually win again Arsenal. Shaw 9 points so far. He can get a bigger points than 9, definitely. Bowen and Rice from West Ham. They actually turned up against, I think, Leeds, right? Bowen 13 points and Rice 9 points. Huang from Wolves got 11 points. Your player there, Ferguson, 13 points so far. He could easily got more than 13. And Mitrovic, your player, one more. So, what you make it of me? Are you interested in Bomo, me?
Could be, could be. It's quite. The thing is, funnily enough, statistically, I need to go check, but the games where Tony hasn't been available, Brentford have done well in pretty much all of the matches where Tony wasn't available, and they just continued on with this trend with Umbuemo and Wissa stepping up. Wissa getting a deserved goal towards the end before he was subbed off. So, but Umbuemo scoring the first 2 goals, and getting an assist as well for the other goal. Very unselfish of him, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think definitely we can look at Brentford. I just want to point out Everton, Mina there, we also doing well there, and that's an example of what, when teams are back to the wall, there could be some thing to gain by backing these teams who have something to play for. It is showing, and just now you mentioned that Brentford might still have something to play for as well. I take pride on this week because having Shaw, Ferguson, and Mitrovic in my team, so it's really nice to see. Huang Wolves scoring was a surprise as well. West Ham's Rice also scoring that 1-0. Philippi Luis, yeah, the Ortega thing, yeah, it's become a running joke, So especially those who had Edison, just whatever, he's just gonna steal it up. So we'll see what lineup comes up this tonight.
Yep. Pretty much looking forward to that. Let's go to what at stake at the final day, we pretty much, this is the league table so far. We pretty much know the league title was confirmed that Man City has won it. Okay. We also can safely say the Champions League spot, Arsenal at second, Newcastle at least already locked, and Manchester United should lock their place depending on the result tonight. Okay. But most certainly Manchester are favourite to lock that Champions League spot. In terms of Europa League, okay, Liverpool and Brighton pretty much, okay, Liverpool pretty much locked, but Brighton still mathematically Aston Villa can catch them, but you can see the goal difference are big. That's why on paper I think Brighton gonna get that Europa League spot. Just want to touch a bit because Europa League spot and also Conference League spot in terms of League Cup, Manchester United has won it, so it's going to go down to the league table. Since with FA Cup, the final is between Man City and Manchester United, so they're going to go in terms of 5th, 6th, and 7th place. In terms of Europa Conference League, I just want to touch because it will end up at 7th place. One of them gonna get that spot, and we can see that Aston Villa at 58 points, Spurs at 57 points, and Brentford is an outsider that could actually steal that spot if they say they won their last game and Villa and Spurs lost. There's a potential there. So I feel these 3 teams, they are still has something to play on the last day of the season. In terms of relegation spot, okay, just want to touch here, Forest pretty much are safe, but Southampton are already relegated. 2 spots left for relegation, whether between Everton, Leicester or Leeds. We can see that Everton has an advantage in terms of points at 33 points, but Leicester City and Leeds United mathematically, if they win their game and Everton or the other opponent lost their game, they can be safe at the last game of this. I still remember last season, Leeds United safe at the last game of the season. They got a surprise win against Brentford, because I did actually bring in Tony and he did not return anything in that game last season. So I think these three team has pretty much a chance. And when we're going to take a look at the fixture later, all of those three teams are playing at home. Okay, mate. What's any to comment in terms of this team? Yeah, pretty much they
Right.
are still 16 to play.
Okay, so let's look at the Europe spots. So okay, fine. Liverpool have pretty much tied up one spot there for Europa, because I can't see them catching unless Manchester United randomly lose the last two matches. And no, so that's not going to happen. Let's as a Liverpool fan have to be realistic. So Liverpool getting the fifth spot. So on sixth spot, so you would think that Brighton have an advantage right now. So all they need to, if they win tonight against City, then they definitely get this sixth spot, no problem. Because Villa do have an outside chance, but as you say, it's just hard. So I think Brighton have got that sixth spot out. So now come the seventh spot, which is the Europa Conference League. And the problem here, which is why I think it might have an impact, is that Spurs do not want that Conference League. They've had their Europa experience. It's just a pain. Plus, it involves so much traveling across to longer, further points of Europe that that you don't necessarily have to do with Champions League. All going off to Ukraine, all the far off countries. So it's and I feel that could be a difference. Brentford, of course, they've never been to Europe, so they want to have a shot. But the problem with Brentford is that they do play Manchester City at home, but they are at home as well, incidentally. But Brentford do have that thing going for them, because City will be only a few days rest. If they put out a full strength team tonight, then it's only a couple more days, and then they have to play Brentford as well. So there's an advantage there. And of course, Brentford are at home, which is always a plus. So coming back to Spurs, so Spurs play Leeds. So who have something to play for. So that could be a big, if we see Spurs, we've seen Spurs looking really ridiculous in the last few games. Could they, there's a possibility they might not turn up for this, and it's just.
I just show the fixture so at least people can imagine the
Okay.
fixture easier,
Ah,
right?
yeah.
Like you mentioned, Leeds and Spurs, both teams have something to play. I think that's the intriguing part. Leeds United to avoid relegation, and Spurs trying to lock that Conference League spot.
Yeah, but the question is there motivation to lock that Conference League spot? And that is where I'm not sure how that thing is going to pan down. So if Leeds somehow win, then Everton of course can't rest on their laurels. They got to play this one, needing this last match, needing a win, because I think that Leeds could upset Spurs here. I think that is the potential upset there.
Okay.
So I think those are the key things. But so the question now that we need to ask ourselves is, do we, is it strong enough to merit picking players from them, especially from these relegation battles? And I think
Because
there is.
I think at least for this 16, like we touch a bit Villa versus Brighton, because Villa has something to play. Brentford versus Man City in terms of Brentford lineup, especially Leeds, Spurs, Leicester versus West Ham. Leicester will try whatever they can. The last game of the
Yep.
Everton versus Bournemouth, and then I think pretty much those are the team. I just want to touch a bit on Manchester United and Newcastle. Do they want to try to lock that third spot instead of fourth? I don't know if that's one of the motivation if they want to do. Okay, but I think just want to put that on the table right now. But those are the team that I feel pretty much they need to play their best team.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, because they need, but at least when they lock that third spot, there is a difference between a third and fourth spot, because the third spot is pretty much auto qualify, whereas for the fourth spot, you still need to qualify to get into the group stages of the Champions League. There'll be one qualifying match per se. I think that's still the case. So yeah, so the motivation is still there to try to get that third spot and hope that Newcastle fumble. And United are playing the defensive mode at the moment, which is just getting enough to score. I wouldn't say the defensive mode lah. It's just that they have problems scoring, especially without Rashford at the moment. And Bruno still not. He's top of a lot of the attacking stats, but somehow just can't find that finishing touch. He's hit the post a few times. Just like Mitoma last week.
Yeah.
So definitely we've got a lot to look forward to for this last round of matches. So I haven't checked which matches is Astro going to be showing. So
okay.
but of course I don't know, will they Astro on the go, will they show all matches available?
Wow. I think so, because all match will be played at the same time. Yep. But I don't know whether they're going to show the main one, like Inter versus Bournemouth, right?
According to the FPL, the Premier League, there are not. Astro is showing 9 out of 10.
Wow. Okay.
Can you guess what's the 10th match that they're not showing?
I think the least. Can I say Everton Bournemouth?
No, it's strangely Manchester United versus Fulham.
Oh,
I don't know if this is an error on my part, but that's what's showing on my screen. That it's not.
I don't know.
Astro, but never mind.
I don't think so, but okay, we can confirm later. But Min, what do you think? Do you think that these are the 6 team or 7 teams that we need to target because they have something to play, right?
Yeah, but this style, Newcastle play Chelsea, for example, so that's something to I don't know how Chelsea at home and this so nonsense Chelsea team that we've been seeing. Then you have Manchester United versus Fulham. Fulham are no pushovers either. Yeah, imagine if Manchester United suddenly lost tomorrow's match against Chelsea.
Okay.
That Manchester United Fulham match could suddenly be, the Manchester United fans are going to start looking really nervous.
Yep.
In terms of, I know. Coming back to the relegation team, so you got Everton, Leeds, and Leicester. Are we going to just throw our cards at them? Everton, do we have a attacking player we trust? We don't. DCL is out again. So the only possible option that I can see is either Iwobi and McNeil, but neither are great goal scorers. McNeil can suddenly randomly score and totally bank half the time.
Yeah, the last time he scored 21 points against Brighton, if you want to call that a big one. I don't know whether he can do that.
But then they reverted to type against the very next match. Bournemouth aren't pushovers. We saw Gary O'Neill steady the ship and surprise us. I personally thought Bournemouth was going to be one of the teams relegated, but now they're stable, holding steady. Coming to Leeds, again, who to target? Bamford, Rodrigo, those are the most. If I wanted to do a punt, it would probably be for Rodrigo because I can't see myself going for Bamford, even though he's a penalty taker. But it's just that I have no forward slot to spare, so it's midfield that's more likely. Leicester versus West Ham, no one's consistent anymore for Leicester. So, Madison, last hurrah. I don't know. Yeah, the Madison has not performed recently, and I'm not confident. So if you were to ask me, if you're going to put me on the spot, who would I go for? The only person that maybe Rodrigo. That's it from Leeds.
Right, understand.
What about you?
He did score in the last game match against West Ham. We did talk about differential pick, right? Maybe below 5%. I'm surprised here to see Madison is somewhere down here, if I'm right. Wow. Madison, 4.5%.
Oh, really? Differential.
But in terms of price is still high, 7.8. But I think the last game he did got benched, right? So I think there's still a concern. Those one of the pick that another interesting one, but it's still expensive. Like Sun, 6% own only. But if you trust Spurs against Leeds United, he's priced at 11.5. Luis Diaz, 6.4%, cost only 7.8. Still high. But if you want to replace like the likes of Rashford, Grealish on that price bracket, you have some money, maybe that could be the option. So yeah.
I'm looking all these games where Crystal Palace, Forest, nothing to play. Arsenal versus Wolves, nothing to play. Who knows what will have? Southampton versus Liverpool, nothing to play. I don't know what's going to happen in those matches, so I probably
Alright,
avoid.
why not we look at top predicted point? Then maybe we can have some gauge what players that people might actually choose. The top predicted points based on Fantasy Football Hub or Hub Predictor did mention that Kane could be the one who going to score big in game week 38 against Leeds at home. And Kane, especially we know, is like a master in terms of goal fest, especially at the last game of the season. So that could be your direct replacement if you feel do not trust Haaland gonna play the last game, because maybe we got some team leads and so on. Kane could actually be a direct replacement, and just put your captain armband at him and pray for the best. Salah, I think definitely, I think he's going to be one of the talking points or the one that people going to captain this week, mate. I don't think we're going to surprise a lot of manager going for him against Southampton. Southampton relegated. Liverpool has nothing else to fight for, but just free flow and just go for it. Maybe they can score big like 7-0, right? 5-0, and Salah could be in the mix. Bruno Fernandes up there. Okay, 6.7 points predicted against Fulham at home. Son there, Saka, some Arsenal asset if you trust. Saka on penalty, home last hurrah with in front of their crowd against Wolf. Saka or Jesus. Saka in midfield, Jesus up front. TAA, everyone has. I think the interesting one is Eze. Okay, Crystal Palace. People have been talking about him. Price as 5.6 million. And he could easily be your replacement if you don't like Mitoma or McAllister, you want to move on. I think that's one thing that people are looking at. I mean, what else that interests you in terms of this total predicted points for game week 38?
It's tough because like Isaiah, are we going? Are we confident that he will play? I mean, players like Eze, because with Palace against Forest. To be fair, they against Forest, but at the same time, they have nothing to play for, so there's some risk there, as to what Roy Hodgson decides to do. And I don't know.
Just want to check a bit. Eze is the most transfer in so far, I mean, with 65,000 managers has brought.
Yes. Who was the most transferred player in this week? Oh, it was Gundogan, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay, all right.
I don't know. Sorry. It's hard. It's just this week is just so random, so anything can happen. I'm laughing at myself because I have Gundogan. But I don't know. I think Arsenal need to give their home fans some cheer after a disappointing end to the campaign. So I think that if you wanted to do a punt, that Arsenal players might be the one to go. Yeah, I don't think Wolves are going to be that motivated anyway. So there's some extra motivation to finish off with a nice win for and to thank the Arsenal fans. So I think that definitely there's some merit there. Other than that, I don't see, even like Gakpo is at risk because I feel that Firmino might start in his last match for Liverpool. And if that happens, then Gakpo is probably the one most likely to give way. Oh gosh, it's hard. Watkins, so Villa, right? So do they want to fight to get that conference spot? Then you expect Villa Watkins to do well. I think quite a few teams still have him. But it is
he missed the penalty. I mean, last
who?
week.
Watkins, yeah.
he missed penalty, so
Yeah.
that's maybe a concern. But he's still on penalty.
I think he
For
should.
Aston Villa, your ex-player before this, Jacob Ramsey, you like him? I think he's on fire also. He
Yeah,
scored
yeah.
a game. So,
It's just that the matchup is not very easy either. It's against Brighton. To
yeah,
be fair, Brighton are
yeah.
almost pretty much locked in that Europe spot. But but Brighton, we've seen De Zerbi do wholesale changes, and the team still does well. We've seen that before. So yeah, it's
The
gonna be
motivation for Aston Villa is to lock that spot lah. I don't think Spurs or even Brentford gonna get it, but I think Aston Villa need to go and win that game.
yep.
All right, man. I think this one of the ni. I think if you're interested in Kane, despite he's playing away to Leeds, who are going to fight for their life, I think Kane still a good shout, and even one of the captain pick. Later we touch on him. Uh, Other than that, like you mentioned, uh, not interested on Eze, but the traffic is right now on Eze. Arsenal player, I think Saka could be the one, but Odegaard could also be your punt. He's actually cheaper than Saka, 6.8 million right now. Okay, and in terms of striker, if Haaland not playing, you don't like Kane, Jesus, you can chuck him there, or even Watkins, or even Vardy there. If you feel that Leicester going to win against West Ham, yeah.
Okay, just so you mentioned Haaland. I feel that he will play this last match and start the last match, but he'll be subbed off
Okay.
early. I didn't manage his minutes, but I just feel that Pep will want to keep him
Okay.
in good form
In
and
return,
play
yeah. Okay.
and score a goal in preparation for the Champions League and FA Cup finals.
All right, good stuff. Let's go to fixture. We go already. Captain pick, mate. Okay.
Yep.
So far, people are picking Salah as the most top choice. In terms of captain pick for this week, no surprise. Actually, they've playing Southampton away. Despite away, Salah could be one, or if not the most captain pick that people are going to go for this week. Haaland still a choice if he plays away to Brentford, but Brentford is a stronger team than Southampton, definitely. And we do have Kane there as the third choice, playing away at Leeds, and we know as much Kane, people mention that he is not explosive, but he is consistent in delivering, right? So what do you think, Min, in terms of captain pick? If you want to maintain your rank, or if you're chasing, what? How can you see the trending this week? Are people going to like go for the boring Haaland or trying different for last week?
It's a tough one. So to be fair, your City are away playing against Brentford, who have surprised us quite well. So I don't know which is the boring pick that you mean, because you think that the City game against Brentford is harder than Liverpool versus Southampton. So you would think that Salah is the more boring pick, and it looks like he's the more popular pick. Yeah. Whereas
What's your feeling? Are you do you feel that a lot of managers going to captain Salah this week? What's your feeling?
no, I still think that depending on what happens tonight in terms of the lineup, if let's say if Haaland starts tonight, I think that will make people captain Haaland for the weekend as well.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he had his rest from the starting lineup last weekend already. Yeah, so I think Pat will keep him. But okay, let's assume he does start. Is he the best captain? I'm looking at the fixtures and still is, isn't it?
But I feel if we have been like all season captaining Haaland, right, and afraid not to captain him. I think this is the last game if you feel that you want to be different, and especially you're chasing. I think so.
Yeah. So could any of the so obviously looking at the captain of popular picks, none of them are from the relegation battle teams. You see, so they've Kane, who's playing relatively safe or no want to go into conference. Salah, who's in the pretty much safe. Nothing's. They're not gonna fight for anything anymore. They've already got the spot placed up. And Saka also safe. Definitely locked in the second spot. And Haaland, nothing to play for. So they all there. And Eze, nothing to play for. So it's pretty much almost everyone here has really nothing to play for. Spurs marginally, and then here we are as still the best captaincy options. Yeah, but it goes to show just how poor the relegation zone teams have been in terms of scoring, but also that in that Spurs is the only one who has a consistent player who you might feel might still return in this last match to fight for the Conference League. But Villa Watkins, is anyone considering? Yeah. Because Brighton would have another. They would probably have to rotate again to maintain their team's mentality. But Aston Villa at home, that could be something, but it's not an easy matchup, is it? I'm just looking at elsewhere to other options, and I just don't see anything that stands out. Manchester United versus Fulham. Could that be a captaincy option there?
Maybe. Maybe.
That's something.
Bruno or Rashford. I think if let's say Bruno suddenly score big against Chelsea, maybe people will think about him. But if he continued to deliver another 3 points, then I don't think so.
I think I should, I think Arsenal could have a good chance of scoring well this week.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I think they do feel that they are playing for something in the sense of thanking their fans thing, and I think they will go all out in this one.
Right.
So Arsenal,
right.
Yeah, Arsenal.
Right. Good stuff. I think, man, let's go to our team. At least for now, what's your thinking? You have one free transfer, right? And you have 1.5 million in the bank. This is your lineup so far from last week, but what's your thinking?
Okay, so all this waxing lyrical about having an Arsenal player for the game, and I don't have a single Arsenal player yet. So do I want to do that and go that way? I don't know. So right now, the Newcastle, assuming this, because they might still be for that, keep that third spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the challenge there. If they can keep that third spot because if United win tonight, then Newcastle, regardless, the Newcastle still will want to win the last match to make sure they stay on top. Even if they overtake, they will still want to win and hope that United doesn't lose. So you would think that Trippier and Trippier anyway for me, and but if those of you who have Isaac I would okay. So sorry, we're talking about my team, so I would put Trippier back up. But I'm not sure as to where I go. I think Gakpo is heavily at risk, and Gundogan, I'm not sure I want to still keep him. It depends on what happens. It's just the risk is there. So if I wanted to make changes, maybe I'd let's say move Trippier up and bench Gakpo, and replace Gundogan with an Arsenal midfielder. That might be what I. Yeah, and that's it. That's pretty much it, because I would hope that I expect Mitrovic to start the last game as well.
For sure.
He's had plenty of rest, damn it. Then I guess between Steel versus Raya, probably I don't know about this one, but Raya it might be a high risk, high return, but you have to really
And if I'm right, Raya is the most top scorer in terms of goalkeeper, or maybe
Is he now?
Alisson.
I haven't looked.
No, I think it's just between those two. I think so.
Him and
Alisson. I think so.
Wow.
If I'm right, in terms of total points.
All right. So that's it. And I guess the question of the captaincy is up in the air. You're right. Alisson is more than by 2 points. So the captaincy is up in the air, and
What's your feeling?
If I like the Arsenal player, I bring him. I bring in
Wow.
depending on my funds. I might captain that Arsenal player.
I think you definitely have money, right? Because 1.5 million, you can bring Saka or even Trossard or even
Yeah,
Odegaard, which one
yeah,
that you feel good, right?
yeah. Because both Gundogan and Gakpo are both 7 point plus points.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
definitely,
yeah.
I can we add it to the 1.5. It's got him enough to purchase. So yeah, I gotta see if Saka is my man.
All right, all right. Good stuff. Let's go to my team. Pretty much template. All right. So far they're here in goal over Kepa. I feel, yeah, I hope that De Gea are going to play the last game of the week anyway. All right, so De Gea will be my keeper. TA, Shaw, and Estupinan. Um, I don't think Botman and Henry are better choice than those three. I think those are the three that people are going to play. Hopefully, there will be not big rotation, especially from Brighton players. Right. Rashford, hopefully he fit and play the last game. Grealish is another one, right? I mean, I think if you mention that he's gonna miss tonight game, he could be on the chopping block. I think so. Mitoma, Salah, and McAllister, Alvarez, and Haaland. And I said on my bench, so I said could be an option for me to play against Chelsea. And if our uh, uh, um, narrative is right, Newcastle might need a win last game to lock that third spot, right? Maybe. All right. So if that's still have the motivation that I said could be a good choice at least because we are trying to avoid a lot of rotation players, right? To so
Yeah.
Brighton. So I only have 0.3 million in the bank. I have only one free transfer. I think the right thing to do is just do one transfer instead of taking a hit and trying to mix up my team. Unless we got news Haaland did not start. If Haaland do not start, I think the right replacement is Kane, right? With that kind of money, you won't go down to Watkins. You won't go down to who else at 7-8 million brackets like Wilson. I think so, man. Right. So I think if Grealish not confirmed to play, if we got the news, then maybe Grealish to Odegaard. I have only that kind of money. I think Odegaard
Mm.
could be a nice pick. Mitoma or McAllister, if I don't like one of them, I could easily change to Eze, which is one of the most traffic in right now. If Haaland do not play, then Kane could be the choice. So yeah, I think pretty much that it. The rest is template, man.
So I guess the question we need to ask ourselves is: are we gonna risk waiting as near as possible to the deadline for any
You,
early team news to come in for
you
any
know
of our teams?
you know our deadline will be at what time, right, man? Is 10 p.m. because the kickoff will be at 11:30 p.m. Malaysian time. So it's really late.
When are we doing our deadline show?
We will talk about that later.
I want to do it. I want to do it on a Sunday night. If it's possible, but I don't think it is. Oh gosh, yeah, I'd like to do it Sunday night if possible. That's it.
Which
Anyway,
is,
never mind.
yeah.
We'll
I
talk
think
about
that
that.
those are the move that I'm gonna make. Mean I don't think I'm gonna be too aggressive at the last game of the season.
Really?
I think take a -4 is something like if we know leak like Haaland and Grealish does not start or Rashford does not start. I think those are the scenario. If let's say like Salah did not start, then maybe people will do that. But
Would
other
you,
than that,
given that I feel that Manchester United and Newcastle are the teams who have something to play for, and the fact that both are the relatively stronger, good teams to pick FPL players from compared to the others, would you consider going for a third Manchester United player, Bruno Fernandes?
I don't have slot. To be fair, I already three max there, Shaw and they're here. Unless
Oh
I
yeah,
change,
yeah, I forgot. Sorry. I
unless
keep.
unless I change Rashford. If
Yeah,
Rashford,
that's
I don't think I'm gonna do that.
yeah. Sorry. I forgot the here.
Mm,
I missed
mm,
the here there. Yeah.
mm, mm.
So Isaac Botman and okay. So would you
So
bring back Trippier? Or you have a third
I,
Newcastle?
I don't think say I'm gonna bring up Trippier and do the defensive move. I think what I would do, just between Grealish or bench one of the Brighton midfielder. I play Isaac. Hopefully Alvarez and Highland starts. But if let's say Manchester City lineup really look different, we're going to panic at the last minute. Me.
That's the risk and rewards of picking City players, I guess. So that's
Yep.
that's
Hopefully, I will not make any -4 move, but unless we've been forced to do that, man. Okay. All right, man.
yeah.
We take some question. Rakan FPL did post some question. Let's go. He interested on Leicester asset. If let's say he wants to bring in Leicester, have something to play relegation, Madison or Barnes. Which one you interested?
Madison purely before the set piece because at the end they
All
is
right.
more the threat.
Okay. How about Eze or Rodrigo? I think Eze does not have something to play, but he's on form. Rodrigo leads, but against Spurs at home.
I think Rodrigo feels that he wants to sign off nicely after starting with a bang. He wants to finish off with a bang, so I'm gonna go Rodrigo. I think
All right. I'm
Rodrigo's
not. I'm not sure what Rodrigo price is. If let's say he's like 5 million plus, then I think he's same price bracket with Eze. Okay.
six
Do you,
plus.
yeah. Do you dare to go and captain Kane main? What do you think? I think you're this kind of player. Like try differently and captain different players like Kane, who
No,
I don't think people gonna captain a lot.
I know Leeds are the whipping boys there, so yeah, I think Kane can score a goal there, no doubt. But I think that because Leeds are desperately trying to survive, um, I think that other teams that have nothing that they might end up scoring more. So having Kane is fine, but I'm not sure I would captain him. Yeah, especially if Spurs seeming. To be fair, Kane can score even though the rest of his team is rubbish. But I want someone more explosive. I don't think Kane is it this week.
Okay, right. This one about Everton defense, Mina or Tarkowski. Which one? Mina did score 10 points. Uh, yeah, in last game week, right? Tarkowski.
You, I'll leave you to make this call. I
But
think they're
I think between these two, there's not much different. But Mina is coming into form of late, right? So
yeah.
yeah,
But would you want to transfer, as you mentioned earlier, a defender in for this last game week?
I won't do that. But if they say Rakan if you are interested to do that, this could be one of the child. But we try not to do defensive move because Everton versus Bournemouth, maybe Everton tried to go out and Bournemouth scored goal, and then suddenly it's open up, right? So I'm not sure about this pick, but I think Mina for now. Wilson versus Chelsea or Mbomo, I think two big match in terms of Wilson away and Mbomo at home, but with Man City. But both have form, right? I don't know. What do you think?
It's an interesting one. This one, obviously, Chelsea are the worst team in defensive. Uh,
Uh,
Guemo.
yeah, I think maybe Mbomo because price is one thing. And I think Brentford still has something to play, try being an outsider to lock that European Conference League spot. Man City might be on the beach. We just never know, right? But pretty much it's still a strong game. Mbomo, I think Thomas Frank want to finish off his season on the right play at home. That's what I feel.
Yeah, but I don't think Pep will allow his Manchester City players be on the beach.
Yeah. Yeah. Play Trippier or Estepenen. If you have a choice, I think I will go Trippier all day long.
Trippier. Yeah, Villa are in a much better position than Chelsea are and are harder to play against. Liverpool can tell you that.
Right? We only 2 days between Chelsea and Fulham. Okay, in terms of Manchester United asset, if you have Rashford, would you keep Rashford? I think we need to see that match if let's say Rashford are really fit to play, right? And if it is suddenly scored against Chelsea, I think he could be still to keep.
Yeah, it's a big question. You would expect that Manchester United will play Rashford for both matches regardless of the short time. So he may just be rested early against Chelsea because I think Manchester United do feel they need to lock up that third spot.
Yep. If you still have Kepa and Raya combo, which one you gonna play? I think I'm gonna play Raya. Is despite playing Man City.
Yeah, I think Raya. I just don't trust Chelsea.
Yeah, even Raya can score 4 points against Spurs playing away. So I think, yeah, Raya all the way. Mr. Shaf, last week is it too dangerous? This week, if let's say we wait too close and possible to the deadline, maybe a lot of people trying to get into the system and then server down and so on. What do you think, mate? Should we
Yeah,
be afraid making last minute move?
yeah, it's a bit dangerous. I think if you're sure of some moves, you at least one move you make them first. But if you want them to take a hit, then you have to try to wait and see. Yeah, I mean the whatever move you make, if it's just to make sure you get a starting 11, then don't wait.
All right. Just a quick one before we go. It's actually our league, FPL Jedi League. We can see that at the first place is Kuala Lumpur City. He is really flying high, like 50 points more than second place, third place, and even my fourth place. I think Helmi Johari did really well this season. If I see actually in terms of his overall rank right now, he's at 2.6k in the world. So pretty much kudos to him. Second place, James Stephen, Tiger James with 2509 right now, close gap lah. Third place, Gift of the Three Gaps, 2499, and myself at 2490. I pretty much stumble from second place now to fourth place. Hopefully, can catch up with this right player and the last game of the season.
Yep.
We have Afos there at 9th place, right? So, and then the rest, Amirul, Faisal, Bill Kulis, Evan Haizam, and Shafiq Hafiz in the top 10 of our league mate. So just quickly on Helmi Johari team, Kuala Lumpur City, we can see that really template. He has Kepa in goal, TA, Estupinan, and Lindelof. He do not have Shaw, but he has Lindelof. All right, so that's the different. He has Bruno and Rashford. Okay, combo, but he did not captain Bruno. He still captain Haaland. He has McAllister and Mitoma and Salah. He has that Wilson Isaac combo, but he decided to play Wilson over Isaac and Haaland as captain. So pretty much on the last game of the week, maybe he will replace one of those Wilson or Isaac to somebody. Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe that's the one that on his thinking. Maybe.
Yeah, he probably swapped back Raya in as well, even though it's against City.
Yeah. I think so. And he, I think he's good in terms of Man City asset. He only has Haaland, man. He does not double up with anyone else. So it's a good choice.
Yeah, one could argue that's probably why he's better than
Yeah.
most of the rest of us by just avoiding the uncertain City players.
Yeah. Good stuff from him. So before we wrap up, our game week 38 deadline, the last game of the season, will be on Sunday, not Saturday. Sunday, 10 p.m. We shall see how our deadline stream will be. Just to all the viewers who are here, do hit the like button and subscribe to our FPL Jedi Show YouTube channel. I think, but this is the last game of the season. Right, man, your last word.
Good luck tonight. Hope your players play.
Yep.
Especially City.
It's out of our hand, right?
Yeah, it's out of our hands. Then, of course, tomorrow night you will see whether Rashford looks like he's going to come back into the lineup. But of course, I think they probably need to juggle his and not give him 90 minutes.
Right. Good stuff, man. Yep. Our last stream of the season before we finish up, hopefully with the deadline stream, has been a good season. Okay, and pretty much in terms of my ranking, although I target like 10k, maybe it's not possible now. but I still up there in terms of ranking 30 and 20k. So I am pretty much happy with that performance. We hope to continue better next season, mate. All right.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you for watching and hope to see you again. Take care. Bye bye.